All right. What's going on? Episode 8 of the Panda Cast. I'm James Black Panda. This is Young Motec. Jarrell. Look him up on youtube.com/users/Young Motec, I think is the whatever.
Yeah.
But just type Young Motec in on YouTube. You should be able to go to him. Or go to James Black Panda on YouTube and go to the channels that I feature. His is one of them. Check that out. Look us up on Panda Media. Panda Media, patreon.com/Panda Media. You'll be able to catch the show 4 days early, I think. Monday. Is it 4 days? I guess you would consider it 4 days. 4 days early on Mondays, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Visual, and audio. Visual and audible versions of the podcast come to you there. The first 10 episodes are going to be free. After that, it's going to be behind the subscription. $3 a month if you want to get it early, ad-free. On YouTube, things like that, you'll get the free versions that in the future will have ads, no doubt. But as of right now, don't have ads. Those go live on Friday, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, along with audio versions that go live 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on Fridays as well. So check us out in all those places. I need to come up with some kind of intro that just plays at the beginning of the stream or the stream broadcast. What? No,
That'd be awesome.
at the beginning of the recording. So it basically just plays like a little 10, 30, 15 second, hey, this is who we are, this is what we're doing, da-da-da-da, blah, blah, blah. And then when we just start the show, I'm like, all right, what's up, guys? All right, so we're going to jump immediately into the topics. I need to set that up. Hold me to that. I wrote something up, but I didn't record it yet. But today we're going to be talking a little bit about my experience with the PlayStation 5 already. It did come. I do have I filmed the unboxing. I have not edited it just yet. I also filmed the unboxing of the charging dock, which I have not edited, or I edited it, but I hadn't posted that yet. But so we're just going to talk a little bit about that, and then brace yourself, because this is kind of what we're talking about as far as the community that we're trying to build here, of open-mindedness, inclusiveness, not necessarily agreeing with everybody. Everybody's going to have an opinion that could ultimately offend somebody or go against their beliefs, things like that. But being able to have that conversation without just getting all pissy and fanooty, and it's okay to have differing opinions than your friends. It's not a problem.
For sure.
But we will be going into talking about what's going on, which is kind of crazy. It's on everybody's mind right now. The Russia-Ukraine situation. Not that we're super political or super into the news and up to date on the nuance of every little detail about the whole thing, but it's just kind of, hey, a layman's perspective. What we see, what we're thinking about, and just kind of social commentary on what's going on in the world today. But we're going to keep it lighthearted at the beginning.
I try to stay away from the news.
And then probably lighthearted at the end, and we're not going to be... This is just a opinion-based conversation, okay? So respect the opinion. You don't have to agree. It's totally fine. If you disagree, talk about it intelligently in the comments. Message us on patreon.com/Panda Media if you want to kind of contribute to the show, things like that. Contribute to the conversation. We'd love to hear what you guys' thoughts are. If anybody who's listening to this right now has more information or is close to what's happening over there, definitely reach out and message the show. That way we can kind of keep a running dialogue on up-to-date current events, things like that. But for right now, Jarrell, how you feeling, man?
I feel
Just
good.
in general.
By the way, we are Americans, so when we have that topic, y'all hear from Americans. So I feel good. I feel like when I heard it, I wasn't worried about anything. So I feel good.
No, not about that. We're gonna get into the that situation in a little bit. Just how you feeling right now? You're lighthearted at the beginning.
I feel good, man. I feel we just go jump straight into it, but I feel good, man. I feel happy.
Yeah.
I'm glad you got the free.
It's on the verge of World War III, dude. I'm happy as a motherfucker, bro.
Hey, can't live in fear. But anyway, I feel good, man. I feel happy. I'm glad you got the PS5. I can't wait to actually play a game with you for a change, or to see that unboxing and stuff like that. But it was cool to finally see you stream. Y'all could go watch that stream at his Twitch channel when he played Astro's Playroom. It was awesome. His reaction was like, "Oh my god, dude!" This. So but I feel good,
dude. Yeah. Yeah, I went back and cleaned up all the collectibles. So on the stream, I played each level and just kind of ran through it. And then stopped at the end credits. So I beat the whole game in the 2 hour stream that I did the other day, and I thought the game was over, but there's like an after credit scene, which is like a DLC pack that comes with the game now, and it's where you get the PS5 artifacts. You
Oh,
know,
that's
so
cool.
for each yeah, where for each section of the game, like you get PlayStation 1 artifacts, PlayStation 2, PlayStation 3, PlayStation 4 artifacts. But then after the credits, there's an after credit scene where you kind of just go on this path and you get the PlayStation, the new camera, the PS5 controller, and then the PS5 itself. And
Yeah.
there's a couple of DLC trophies, like three of them, I think, related to the speed run, and then a couple of things in the CPU like hub world. But yeah, I felt like I had the PS5 for longer than I've actually had it because I
Really?
was talking to somebody at work yesterday. Yeah, I was talking to somebody at work yesterday, and I asked him. I was like, he's kind of a new guy, so, but he's like cool. Like we were cutting up about Tropic Thunder the other day, and just like dying laughing at like stupid ass shit that Robert Downey Jr. was saying. But we were joking around about that, and I asked him, I was like, "Hey man, how old are you? Like, do you play games, stuff like that?" He's like, "Oh yeah, yeah, yeah." And I was like, "What do you got? PS4, PS5?" And he was like, "Yeah, I got the PS5." And I was like, "Oh, cool. What was your experience like getting it?" And because it's always like a unique
Yeah.
thing, like everybody has like those specific hoops that they jump through. And he goes, "Yeah, I was at the mall or something like that, and there was a line at the GameStop, and I was like, oh shit, what is this?" And I look it up, and they had PlayStation 5s, but I was like, it was too late because the line was already too long. And then
Yeah.
a day or so later, a couple of days later, he got like a notification that they were at GameStop, but it was in Tennessee, and we're in Georgia, so it was like a 3 4 hour drive, and he went and got it. And I don't know when
Whoa.
he went. Yeah, so he went like on a road trip to get the PS5. Like that's a story he'll remember like going forward, you know.
Yeah.
And we were talking about it, and I was like, "Yeah, I think I got." I was like, "Yeah, man, I got the PS5 last week," and this was Friday, what, the 25th, and I got it on the 22nd, and I was like, "Oh yeah, I got it last week," and he was like, and I was like, "Wait a second, hold up, no, I got it 3 days ago. What the fuck?" And it was because I platinumed Astro's Playroom like so
Yeah.
quick in like 2 3 days, that it made me feel like I had it longer. But I'm loving it, dude. Like, I think it's so fucking clean and cool. And the things that I learned, and this is something else that you can do as well, is get an external hard drive and not necessarily buy that $300 internal hard drive for the SSD M.2. You don't have to buy that. What you can do is get an external hard drive and just play all your PS4 games directly from the hard drive. And if you want to, if there's like limited space on your console, it's much faster to just move the PS5 game to the external hard drive and then move it back when you want to play it. Because you have to play the PS5's games from
Yeah.
the console or from the internal M.2 extended storage if you get it, you know?
Yeah.
But it's just a quick workaround that you can do. And just, like the. I guess I can link right here in the YouTube version. I'd be over there above him. Um, the unboxing for the WD My Passport video that I did a while back, because that is the same hard drive that I'm using on PS5, and I've had it for like 3 4, like probably longer than that, 4 or 5 years now, because I did the unboxing then, used it for it was a 4 terabyte hard drive, used it for my PS4, had all my games on it, played it from there, totally fine. I basically just unplugged it from the PS4, plugged it into the back of the PS5. I'm playing Red Dead. I'm playing
Dang, that's
Rocket
cool.
League. I'm playing any game that I want straight from like all my PS4 games. Now, none of the save data has moved over because all of that is on the PS4 console itself. Because, as you know, like games will download on the external, but whatever. Uh, the save data will download on the console itself. So that's the only downside. And there's a
Oh, you
couple
gotta
of
use that
games
cloud. Yeah.
like I played like yeah, there's a couple of games that I've played like Dying Light 2 where I've put like 10 11 hours into it, and I would have to cloud save transfer and just continue playing the PS4 version, but I don't want to play the PS4 version. But then I also don't want to play for the next 10 hours the same stuff that I was already doing by
Yeah.
myself. So Dying Light 2 PS5 version might be a game that I just wait on now because until McGavin gets it, because we played through the first one together, and I know you don't like games like with horror aspects to it or scary shit to it.
I like it.
Typically, so
I like it, but I didn't like Dying Light 2 for some reason. How it looked so far, but maybe it gets better.
yeah. I mean, if it's just not speaking to you, it's not speaking to you. Um, like the thing with what I'm feeling right now is Elden Ring. I'm looking at gameplay of that. I'm seeing the reviews. I watched a reviewer that I trust, which is Game Ranks, Jake Baldino's Before You Buy videos. Those are really fucking good. He posted that one 2 days ago. I watched it this morning, and he's like, the main thing that he was talking about for that game was when it comes to Dark Souls and Demon Souls, it still has the traditional stuff. It's very challenging, very hard, which I didn't mind too much of in Bloodborne. I liked it,
Yeah,
and it's a little more arcadey. It's not so stiff feeling like Dark Souls and Demon Souls. And then it's actually a little bit more forgiving because if you hit a wall, it's not like in those games where it's more linear. For you to progress, you have to beat this boss, and there's really nothing else you can do except grind on the same like couple of enemies. Whereas this one, it's like, dude, you hit a wall, you run into somebody that's like really difficult, you can go away, you can run away, you can
yeah,
go fight other enemies, go explore this little cave over here, and get a totally different experience than the person who, you know what, fuck it, I'm just gonna muscle my way through this enemy. Overall, the PlayStation 5, I'm loving it, and what I'm thinking about doing right now is I want to do a couple of little small streams, not necessarily play through the full game, but do like a maybe like 1 2 hour stream of Uncharted Drake's Fortune, and then Uncharted 2, and then Uncharted 3, like a couple like 3 streams where I just play a couple hours of each game, and then jump into the PS5 version of Uncharted 4 because I do want to play that one again. I've only beaten that game once, and it was a long
yeah,
time ago when it first came out, so I do want to get into it again. And I did like Lost Legacy. Like I thought that was good, but I already paid for the $10 upgrade to get the PS5 versions of those
yeah,
games, and that's kind of what I want to play. Because even though Elden Ring is like interesting to me,
yeah.
I already know that I'm gonna be bashing my fucking head against the wall, and
Uh,
literally, I already know. And maybe it'll be great stream content, but I'd be so goddamn mad playing it that
yeah,
I don't know. I don't want to spend $70 on the game and then just keep fucking hitting my head against the wall, like literally a brick wall behind me,
yeah.
which is not really a brick wall. It's a fake brick wall, but it still hurt. I'd probably hit a fucking stud. But dude, I'm so happy with the PS5. The fucking controller's awesome.
Hold on,
When
hold
I
on.
hold
Hey,
the
when you do
purple
those
controller,
playthroughs, do you think you want to wait for the 4K or you just gonna do it? Because for Uncharted 4, I think it'll be awesome to wait to see that in 4K, bro, for sure.
here's the thing. Even playing right now, I'm on a 1080p TV. I'm not even in 2K or 4K, but even doing this, like how smooth it is, I'm like, ah, it's so
Yeah,
nice. It's so
it's great.
nice. And the thing that I'm loving the most about the PS5 is the load times. Like jumping into Riders Republic, like I can start the game and be playing within like 30 seconds, 1 minute,
Yeah,
versus on PS4 where it's like you start the game, it takes 30 seconds, then you go to the main menu, it takes 30 seconds, then you hit start and it loads the map for 30 seconds, and you're sitting there waiting fucking 3 minutes to get into the game. It's way faster and more convenient, and I love it.
yeah. The loading screens are definitely the best part. What's crazy part is like literally no loading screens. The thing that takes the longest is the servers connecting. That's the only thing that actually loads.
Yeah,
Everything else is just instant. So it's awesome. The same thing
yeah.
with GTA. GTA
Like,
5.
mhm.
If you load GTA 5, it stops at like 40%, and only because they trying to connect you to the servers, and
Yeah.
you jump straight to the game.
And okay, yeah, that's pretty cool. And then it's cool. So throw this out there because you sent me that video as well. GTA 5 Online PS5 version is going to be a free download for PlayStation Plus subscribers in the month of March. I think you said it was available March 15th, like when it comes out.
Yeah,
But they're throwing that out there. And then also Ghost of Tsushima Legends. I think that's going to be the one that kind of satiates this Elden Ring feeling that I'm getting because I already can tell that okay, if McGavin or when McGavin gets Elden Ring on PS5, that's probably when I'll get that to kind of jump in, play it, hang out with him and stuff like
yeah.
that. But because again, it's just a game that you don't you won't get
No,
um
I might get that. Like I
as
told you,
far.
I like nights and
Elden
stuff like
Ring.
that. I play RuneScape and stuff. Like I don't mind playing it. I want to play with some people. Like if y'all get it, I'll get it. It's just different between like Demon Souls, Dark
Elden
Souls, and
Ring.
all the other stuff. Yeah, I'll get it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I when I
You'll
was
get it.
when
Okay.
I took that
Okay.
screenshot on Messenger, I was taking a picture of it and I was like looking at the trailer through the PlayStation Store. So yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because that game, I don't. Again, it might be like the previous From Software games where you got to do some special in-game activity to be able to like invite the person over just for the boss fight. I don't think you can just 100% run through the whole game like a
Yeah.
co-op mode, which would be freaking dope as hell on that game if it was a little bit simpler. Like you just go into the menu, start up a fucking co-op world, and then you and this other person jump in, and you can only play that world with each other. Would be nice. But overall, man, it looks cool as shit. And then with Ghost of Tsushima Legends, which is the multiplayer coming out in March, I think that'll be dope to, jump in with you guys, and it'll be free. So,
What was the other one?
McGavin, if you're
Blade
listening
Runner,
to
Road
this,
Runner, or something?
Roadrunner,
Ghost Runner.
McGavin, if you're listening to this, oh yeah,
Okay.
it's like Ghost Runner or something shit like that.
Yeah, my bad.
But yeah, McGavin, if you're listening to this, be sure to go on us.playstation.com and download the PS Plus version of Ghost of Tsushima Legends. That way you got to play it or pay for it when it does come out for us. And you'll have it when you get the PS5. Fucker.
Same thing with GTA. If you
Just like
guys ever
shit
want to play
talk.
it again.
GTA, I don't know. I don't know about that. Because, like, it's not speaking to me right now. It's not speaking to me right now. But
I was
that's
playing it the other
overall
day.
my experience with the PS5. Oh, yeah, was it good? Fun?
Yeah, I was on the yacht chilling.
Chilling.
That's literally what I did when I
But
woke up for my
yeah,
birthday. Was get on the yacht like early in the morning and just chill on the yacht and listen to the music.
that's dope. Yeah, because it's kind of like a true RPG, real
Yeah,
world RPG. But no,
exactly.
dude, like the controller on the PS5 is excellent. And when I hold the purple controller and I'm playing with the purple controller, it reminds me of when I was a kid playing the purple N64 controller that was like kind of clear, like translucent, so you could like see through it and see the like chips inside and stuff like that. Playing Banjo and Kazooie like early on a Saturday morning, things like that. Man, I remember when we were doing like the CRCT tests and we were
Yeah,
able to like bring some book or something like that to class and just kind of bullshit around while we're like in between tests. I would bring the strategy guide for Banjo and Kazooie, Banjo and Tooie, and just like look through it and kind of like that was probably one of the games that I actually was pretty obsessed with when I was growing up, where I would
yeah.
play it all the time and beat it like a ton of times. I wonder if I could go back and look at how many hours I put on those games
That's
because it's
nuts.
probably a ton.
By the
It's
way, it is
probably a ton,
confirmed
like
on the
an
Nintendo
insane
Switch.
amount. Oh yeah, Banjo Kazooie, Banjo Tooie.
Well, I don't think the second one, but I know the first one is for sure.
Oh yeah, I mean they're both cool if you like collectathons, and that's what Astro's Playroom was kind of reminding me of. And to speak of the load times, when you when you walk up to a little portal and it just you're just in the fucking next level. It's like, damn,
That's
there's like
awesome.
zero loading. It's so cool. It's so cool. Like even going from one area to the next and you just like warp there, like your character will jump pixelate away and then it'll put you in that location and you'll pixelate together and you're like running already and I'm like, damn, this is so
That's
fluid and
awesome.
cool. Yeah.
Yeah, that's how I felt when I
Oh
told you
man.
about that Spider-Man, the Amazing Spider-Man on
Mhm.
not the Amazing Spider-Man, but Spider-Man on PS4. I was watching somebody else play it, and I'm looking like the loading screen because usually I play the DLC. I just started doing well, I finished the heist, I believe, with Black Cat,
Mhm.
and I was watching somebody else play it, and I was like, dang, it's a loading screen between every single segment, and it would like go from daytime to nighttime. And I'm like, I don't see none of that on the PS5. So I was like, that's freaking awesome that you could just jump straight into the game and just keep playing it. Dude,
Oh yeah.
you should try it. The PS5 version of Spider-Man Remastered. It's fucking awesome.
Yeah, but you got I have the disc version, the PS4 version, so I'd have to and then the save data would be whatever over there. But I would have to. Oh man, did the trophies transfer over? Because I can easily get the PS5 Platinum like that.
Yeah, Like when
Oh
you
shit.
use the save, you have to do it from the PS4 first. You have to say upload save, and then when you get on the PS5, it'll be right there. I don't know if it's a free upgrade, but if you go in the
No,
store,
it's
you can see
definitely
if it's a
not.
free upgrade. Oh,
Yeah, because I remember on Sacred Symbols when I was listening to that, they were talking about it that you would have to buy the ultimate or best version of Miles Morales, and then you'll be able to upgrade your Spider-Man
yeah. I guess
PS4
that's what I got there.
game
Yeah,
for to the PS5 version. Yeah, it's like yeah, because you got the bundle. I don't know. I guess it was allowing you to upgrade the version
yeah.
for
It was
free.
a
I don't know.
thing in the
It
disc.
was some weird thing. It was some weird thing. But yeah, um, but yeah, that's overall my experience with the PS5 so far. I'm loving every second of it. This design is so sleek and cool, and I don't mind it. I have it sitting like laying sideways. I don't have it standing up. It's on my desk, and it really doesn't take up that much more space than the PS4, even the PS4 Slim.
Yeah,
It is obviously bigger, but it's
yeah,
not like comically large like people were making out to be. But overall, that's it. I mean,
yeah.
I don't
I got mine
really
standing
know
up.
of anything else I can. Yeah, I don't really know what else I could talk about it, except for just it's awesome, dude. Like I like the
Yeah,
way the menus are set up, things like that, and the customizable icons. So it's not like everything just set in one spot. You can move all of the icons. You know how like on PS4 you like go up and then all of the bars are there and it's just kind of
yeah,
set in a uniform spot. It does take some getting used to because I'm so used to holding down the PS button, a little thing pops up and then you can turn off the
yeah.
console. Whereas this one I'll hold the PS button, it'll go home and I'm like, "Damn it, I didn't mean to do that." Versus I wonder if you could swap that where it's like you press the PS button for to go home like on PS4,
I
or
think
you
it
hold
is.
it to bring up the menu. If you can swap that to where it's like a short press and then a hold and flip it, because on PS4, if you hold the button, the thing pops up to where you can select accessories and power on off stuff like that. But if you press it, it goes home. On PS5, you hold it to go home and then press it to bring up the little thing. So it's backwards.
Yeah,
And I wonder if there's a way you can swap that. If there is, then you can customize it just like PS4, so the muscle
yeah.
memory isn't messed with. I don't know if that is a thing or not, but hey.
It's, I think it is, and plus in the next update, which I actually just signed up for, so I can access the beta. Maybe I don't know if they can choose me or not. Maybe it's too late. But the next update allows you to use voice commands straight from the mic or whatever. It allows you to customize the
Mm-hmm.
home tab, so it'll show more games at the top instead of just like what 3 or 4. It's like I think this probably about to be the best PS5 update. Like everything that you can do on the PS4, you can do on the PS5 now, and it's like it's so many different customization. And I don't know if you know now.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what type of monitor you got, but you can actually custom 3D audio your TV instead of just your headphones, and you can use your controller and
Yeah, I
it'll
just
do
got a
like
regular
the
TV.
aesthetics from like your room, and it'll make your TV immediately just like a 3D audio just because you got a PS5. It's pretty sick.
Damn,
I just did that this
that
morning
is pretty
because
sick.
I was already doing it, but I was like, let me program to see how it actually works. It made like this weird noise and it freaked me out, but it was pretty cool.
Yeah, probably like the fucking THX, like, and you're
Yeah, it was
like
like,
getting blasted into the
I was like, what
fucking.
the? Yeah,
You're like, damn, I just broke my TV. What I'm doing at work right now, I'm going to because there's things around the house we got to get done. Like we got to do Tatiana's office. We got to um, like I just bought the PS5, which is like $600 coming out of the bank account, things like that. So for me to upgrade the monitor, it's gonna be a while. It's gonna be a couple months easy. And what I'm gonna do is work with my buddy, and then also try to do some overtime here and there at work. And anything that I do like that, like if I get like perfect attendance, gift cards, shit like that, if they offer
yeah,
any of that stuff, I'm gonna take it, set it to the side, and then periodically when I go to the store, maybe pull out $5, $10 and like cash back and just stash it and save up for like a few months to get a really nice monitor. Um,
yeah.
and just kind of set small amount to the side because I want to get like a badass monitor that
Yeah.
like 4K, 1 millisecond HDR, all that stuff, so I can really capitalize on what the PS5 can do. And something else, I'm only using the Elgato, which max settings I believe is 1080p, 60 frames a second for streaming,
Yeah.
and it's just kind of like I mean the PS5 can do that on its own. So it's like for me to be able to do anything else, but I'm kind of thinking about it, and I don't know. I'd have to test it out. But I know you said that I could borrow your 4K 60, but that's for recording videos straight to my computer. But if Twitch and YouTube only allow you to stream in 1080p, 60 frames a second, then there's really no point in using the 4K 60 at this time
Yeah. Unless you were just making
because
videos,
the
even though
max
you
I
can
can
use
stream
it
from,
to do the streaming, but like you said, if that's the max, then there's no point. So yeah,
yeah,
I see what you mean.
yeah, and I'm not sure. I need to do more testing on this, but I think even if I had a 4K TV and all HDMI 2.1 things like that, which allows all the high refresh rate, 120 hertz, 4K visuals. I don't know if by using because there's the pass through the Elgato. I don't know if no matter what, if it goes into the Elgato and outputs, it'll be in. I don't know if it'll do 2.1 4K. I think it'll
So
just limit it. So even if I'm using the 4K TV and everything, I might be limiting myself by passing through the Elgato. So that might be where it's important.
no, it's not that
Where
the
I'm
one that they got. It doesn't sacrifice nothing. That's why. Well,
I'm
you're
saying
gonna
the
be
one I
using
have
your
now.
computer. Oh, the one you have no. Oh yeah, yeah. But the other one that I
Yeah.
have, they
That's
don't
what
do that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Because like what I'm having right now, max setting is 1080p, 60 frames a second, right on the HD 60 that I have. So it's like PS5 putting out 4K 120 hertz
Oh, I see
through the
what you mean. Yeah,
2.1.
yeah.
Will
I
it
see what you mean.
if it goes through the Elgato? Will after Elgato it limit it to 1080p 60 on my 4K 2.1 120 hertz monitor? That's what I
Yeah, I
need
see
to
what you
know
mean.
because at that point I would basically be looking at it like I'm looking at a TV right now. That might be
Yeah.
where having the 4K 60 is important, or yeah, because I mean, again, that might even limit it as well. Like if the PS5 puts out 120 hertz and the TV can accept 120 hertz and display it, but the 4K 60 is only 60 frames a second, will that limit it where I can't see the 120 hertz?
I wouldn't do that
I don't
anyway.
know. I don't know
I
if
don't.
I don't know.
120
I
is like
don't
Call
know
of
if the
Duty.
pass through.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if the pass through allows for unobstructed visuals to the monitor, but the recording on the 4K 60 is limited to what that can do.
Yeah.
That I don't know. That is what I'll have to look into and kind of get more clarity on before I kind of go thinking about buying the 4K 60 and shit like that. Because I don't know. I don't know. But definitely, I'm going to start putting a little bit of money aside here and there to upgrade the monitor. Because I definitely need to. This is an old TV. Like, I just
Yeah, I'm
shared a
excited
video on
for you, man.
Facebook of a.
Your eyes is gonna be like,
Yeah.
oh my gosh, this is what he was talking about. I can't wait, dude.
Yeah.
Especially when you
I
play
mean, I
Miles
have a
Morales.
4K
Oh my
TV.
god.
Yeah, I have a 4K TV downstairs, and we got that on a Black Friday deal. It's like a 50-inch, like not Black Friday, but like it was a deal like at the end of the year. 50-inch 4K TV for like $500, and I'm like, dude, to get a 4K monitor that's like 27 inches with 1 millisecond HDR, all that good shit, is like $1,000. I'm like, fuck.
Yeah.
But hey, it is what it is. Um, But yeah, I mean that's kind of experience with the PS5. I love it. If you have an opportunity to get it, watch the last episode, episode 7. I kind of go into details about how I was able to acquire it and how easy it actually really was to go ahead and get. I mean, if you register, they should send you an email, and you could potentially just buy it straight from them, which means that Sony gets more of the money, more of the share. You're helping out them. You're getting what you want at MSRP, not paying scalping prices. And that just overall helps the brand and helps the system that you're investing into. So I'm loving it. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Freaking McDonald's freaking
I don't
sponsorship.
know why I thought. I don't know why I thought of that shit. Have it your way. But I mean, I guess now's the time. If you are not willing to have a political conversation, go ahead and shut this episode off right here and join us in the next episode, episode 9, where we're going to be talking about whatever the hell we think about next week. But as of right this moment, Jarrell, let us know what's going on. This is going to be the Russia-Ukraine conversation.
Yes, obviously you guys know Russia invaded Ukraine. That first day was like, oh, it's not gonna happen. We got everything under control. It happened, and then now everybody's scared that it's gonna be like the World War III. People are saying what the heck is going on. People are running for them lives. Like you see the videos even on World Star, like you see them everywhere, just showing chaos and people and stuff like that. And yeah, man, I don't know what to think about it. I really don't. I feel like it's I don't know, man. I just feel like it could have been prevented from happening, but it happened, and it's like we got to deal with it.
Yeah. Are you nervous or scared or anything like that?
No, I'm not nervous at all. When I heard it, like I actually, I don't know. I guess because I told you I'm not. I'm more of a like a biblical spiritual guy, so I was like, it's gonna be good. Some stuff. Sometimes stuff just happens just because it happens, and it's gonna
Right.
work out for how it's supposed to be. So yeah.
Yeah. When I heard about it, it was basically on TikTok. Someone was asking, like, hey, Ukrainian uh, users of Reddit. And it's
Yeah.
like where it just reads off like captions of people. And they were like, what's going on over there? How's everybody feeling? And the thing that most people were talking about was, okay, if you're looking at the situation, separate the Ukraine and Russian governments from the Ukrainian and Russian citizens because they do not see eye to eye. The government's kind of going off on their own thing, and the citizens clearly don't want this to be happening. Like
Yeah.
nobody's over here like, yeah, I love it. Nobody's agreeing with it.
Yeah.
It's really just the government doing their thing. And again, just to preface, we're not like super involved or into politics. It's not like we're up to date on all the information and constantly scouring the internet or this is all the content that we're consuming. It's just, hey, what we've heard so far and our opinion kind of based on it. And just kind of come into it with an open mind. So if you agree or disagree or anything like that, message the show, Patreon. I mentioned that a little bit at the beginning of the episode. Just come into it with an open mind and give your opinion and things like that. But most of the things they were saying was when it comes to the situation, nobody's really wanting it to happen. They weren't feeling like it was going to be anything crazy. They didn't think it was actually going to bubble up to what it is now.
Yeah.
But also, people were, even after everything kind of was popping off and all the missiles were flying, shit like that, people were still saying, like, it's not as bad as the media is making it seem.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like the videos that I saw that where they were like, oh my God, it's like the worst thing. It was like they kept, like, every video was showing this one missile hitting a fucking building, and it was like the same clip over and over again on multiple different videos, multiple different sites. And then the other clip was like a guy, it literally looked like a dude just kind of leaning on a tank in a parking lot.
Yeah.
The worst video that I've seen was someone was driving like some kind of military vehicle with like treading. It might have been a tank, and they just ran over a car, and there was a person inside driving. And then the next clip is literally people like trying to pull the door open, and the person's just sitting there like, wow, that was kind of weird. It's like it looked like an old lady, and I'm like, damn, they're built different over there. And
Yeah.
really, as far as the whole how I feel about it, I'm not really worried or scared. The biggest thing that was kind of making me nervous about it was the fact that the other day Tatiana was just that was all the content she was getting, just Ukraine, Russia, Ukraine, Russia, Ukraine, Russia. And what was happening, she was getting scared. So it was causing me to be like, babe, like
Yeah.
you're fucking need to chill out. You
I
need to
gotta have to do
relax.
that all the time too.
Yeah, with her.
To my girl, yeah, all the time.
Yeah, she's freaking out.
No, that's why I don't watch the news because they will make you paranoid even if you're not. Like they'll be like, "Oh my gosh, panic," and you don't even have to. Same thing with the
Really?
weather
Yeah.
sometimes. Like just chill.
Yeah, they'll be like, "Oh my God, hurricane coming," and then it'll be like category like 0, and you're like, "What?" It's like a light wind and rain.
Yeah, yeah,
But when I was talking to her about it, I go, one, U.S. has, I believe, I don't know the exact numbers, largest standing army and military.
yeah,
We'll spank anybody who fucking steps up to the plate, no problem. And then I believe we have the largest reserves as well, which
yeah,
they would, if needed, call upon everybody in the reserve. And then I mentioned a possibility of a draft where if they do draft citizens, they might go off of the old statements or old parameters of only born sons and men without children not going to get called.
yeah.
So that kind of makes me protected because I'm my dad's only son, and then
Me
I don't
too.
have any boys to carry on my name. So it's kind of like if my number might not get called, but uh, I don't think that they're going to do that because what they'll do is they'll pull from ex-military before they pull regular
Yeah,
citizens because they already undergone some kind of training. And again, I don't know for a fact if that's how it would be. My opinion. My opinion. This is opinion, not
yeah.
fact. So if you're in the comments and you're like, man, fuck you, this is bullshit, blah, 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 you're saying stupid shit, shut the
Man,
hell up because I'm not saying anything that I'm just talking,
yeah.
okay? But the number one thing that I will say is, and I'm
Hey,
not
you
putting
got
opinions
enough.
in anybody's mouths, but this would not have happened if Trump was reelected. All right? The
Yeah,
reason why I say that is because you can clearly follow the fucking path of policies that led to this exact moment and clearly see it was formulated and planned out practically day one Biden in office. When he shut down the Keystone Pipeline, oh, we're going to create more jobs. 20,000 jobs killed in the first fucking hours of being president.
yeah,
Literally said, fuck anybody in Michigan or wherever the fuck, Keystone Pipeline, whatever, Chicago, Ohio, wherever the fuck it was being built. Literally, fuck you for voting for me. You voted for
yeah,
me, your job is done.
yeah,
That's basically what happened. And then it leads up to these again, this is kind of go do more research, go look it up, things like that. But from the videos that I've seen, they were talking about how there was some type of sanctions and some type
yeah,
of restrictions put in place in Ukraine and Russia and things like that on communication or whatever the fuck it was over there. Like obviously all wars are about money, power, land, whatever. And a lot of wars nowadays are about oil. I mean, look at again, I
yeah,
don't know all the details 100%, but literally policies put in place, implemented by Biden, basically lifting those sanctions and things that Trump put in place over there. Which again, guess what? You give an inch, they take a mile.
yeah,
It's just like with the whole COVID regulations and restrictions and shit like that. You give them an inch, like, oh, it's just a mask. Oh, it's just 2 masks. Oh, it's just 3 masks. Oh, it's
yeah.
just a shot. Oh, it's just 5 boosters. Oh, it's
Boosters, yeah.
just, I can't go anywhere. Oh, it's just a passport. How is having an identification card racist to vote, but it's not racist for somebody to have a vaccine out of an identification card? What is the fucking logic
I
there?
said the same thing, and I do believe that's modern day segregation, in my opinion. I said the same exact thing.
It is.
It is.
It is. I
It doesn't make
mean,
any sense.
I know we're kind of jumping around, and you can kind
Yeah,
of clearly tell where I stand on either side of the political spectrum. Um, I don't know. I'm not like harsh alt right fucking Republican,
yeah,
but I mean, here's the thing. Yes, policies are in place and things like that to help both sides, and people who really legitimately need things, like they don't have legs and they need fucking some help, you know. But there,
Yeah.
I can tell you right now, there's somebody out there right now in a wheelchair that has no legs that would tell you that, hey, these people that are milking the system need to get off their ass and fucking work. Because there's probably a person out here with no legs that makes a good living because they learned a skill or something like that. They're
Yeah.
not looking for the handouts. And again, intelligent conversations only. I'm talking specifically from my opinion. And also, I'm not perfectly formulating and nuancing every detail of the way I feel about things politically. I'm just giving an opinion.
But what's crazy about that is it's like nowadays with the media, people are scared or don't even feel comfortable with stating their own opinion. As like they want you to be
Yeah,
basically thought for already. Like they trying to give you your own opinion to make it fact. Like
yeah,
whatever they trying to tell you, they want you to be like, okay, yeah, this is exactly what they said, so that's what I'm gonna go with. So with
exactly.
that being said, with this whole Russia stuff, as y'all know, Trump was cool with Putin. You know what I'm saying? And what's crazy, Biden used to tell Trump all the time, "Oh well, you too close to them." And everybody said that they was like, "Oh, Trump is too close to Russia, whatever, whatever, whatever."
Yeah.
But there was no wars. Just like I told you about the North Korea thing, he went over there. Would you say the first president ever to do that?
I believe since the demilitarized zone and since the Korean War started, I believe he's the first U.S. president to ever step foot in North Korea.
Exactly. So
And he walked across the
yeah,
DMZ by himself. Ain't no
yeah.
Secret Service. He literally just like, hey, fuck it. I'm going to go see my boy Kim, my boy Kim Jong Un.
Exactly. So it's like everybody was like, "Oh man, Trump was going to do World War III. He was going to do this. He was going to have this and
Yeah.
change again." And none of that happened. And in 2 years of this presidency, they already talking about stuff like this. That's why I
Yeah.
don't understand. It's like people. I even
1
made a
year of
video about this.
presidency.
Yeah,
Because
one
it
year.
was November 2020 and he took office January 2021. 1 year of presidency. Bam. Verge of World War III, as people like to say. I mean, obviously.
Yeah. I don't.
And
I hope it's not gonna happen. I don't think it's gonna happen like that. I
it's
still
not going to come to that.
sometimes think this pandemic is probably about to end. I feel like this is a big distraction that
Dude,
people
it's
are like,
already
oh,
over, dude.
that's how I feel. I feel like it's like something next, so people can forget about the pandemic and be like, oh, well, it's about Russia now. And then because
Right.
what they gonna have masks on the front line or something like that? No, they're gonna be
No.
out there, doing what they need to do.
Right.
So that's just how I feel like sometimes people need to actually pay attention when it comes like to political stuff and like voting and not just following the crowd and actually look at what people say they're gonna do. Uh,
Yeah, and stop believing the fucking media.
yeah,
Like, literally. And you can tell how brainwashed people are because I remember during the election, and I'm sorry to cut you off right there,
you good, you
but
good.
I remember during the election, like leading up to it, there were people fucking on there was the first debate between I think Biden and Trump, and there was a guy that I am friends with, and again, you can have whatever political opinion you want.
Yeah,
Like, if we're speaking factually, McGavin's wife, Monica, is far fucking left, like
yeah,
the furthest you can be, like, and we're practically brother and sister. Like
yeah,
we like literally me and her had an argument with her mom, her Tatiana and myself, where her mom slapped the shit out of me while we were talking. She was like, "Stop it, James." And I'm like, "How come you're only slapping me cuz I voted for Trump?" Like you're fucking not slapping Monica because she supported fucking left. But
yeah,
I mean, it's whatever. But so it's like I have friends that are liberal and I don't give a shit. Like whatever. I mean, we still
yeah.
play games together. Who gives a fuck? We still go over there. They can watch my kids. I don't care.
And the crazy
But
thing about it, I'm not even like a party person. I just like growing up, obviously the black family, you like, oh, you hear Democrat, Democrat. You know what I'm saying? You think about it, but later on, when you actually start looking at it, it's like I believe Trump was the first person I was like, wow, the media is really one sided. Like that was my thing
mhm.
that made me really formulate my own opinion, how much they was literally making you think about like that's what was crazy about it. Seeing how much they was one sided made me realize maybe this dude's actually telling the truth. maybe he's on to something. Maybe
Yeah.
this outsider that they don't want to be in here is actually talking about something good, and they're scared of that. That's why he got banned on all
Yeah.
social medias because they didn't like that he had a voice. That's how I felt about
Right.
it. And what's crazy about even all that, what people say about all that racist stuff, which I don't believe is true at all. They said he was the first, no, with the first Republican in history to have like a high percentage of minority vote or something like that. He had the highest minority vote for a Republican in history. So that tells you
Yeah.
something. So
Yeah.
come on.
And when it comes to the political debate,
Yeah.
okay, somebody like the fucking moderator was like, will you right now denounce white supremacy and racism and blah 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 blah, right? And he's like, dude, and he didn't in the debate
Yeah.
say exactly, I denounce white supremacy, blah blah blah, I am not racist, blah blah blah. He didn't say it specifically like that, right?
Yeah.
And somebody, like a friend of mine who kind of leans a little bit more left, made a comment on it on Facebook or what have you. He goes, dude, like when somebody asks you, do you denounce white supremacy? Just denounce white supremacy. Like you don't have to. What? So he's basically saying like, oh, well, it's clearly he's fucked up because he didn't denounce white supremacy right there. And I'm like, dude, he's done it a million fucking times. Just watch a video. Literally
Yeah.
watch any fucking video of him literally saying, I denounce white supremacy. And hold on one second. My computer was acting funny. But like it's like you watch a fucking video and then another friend of mine who's super left leaning as well was like, "Oh yeah, show me the video, show me proof, right? Or can you provide a link?" You know, they always like, "Cuz you're lying, facts over it's like so I provided the link where literally he said it like 50 times like, "Oh man, this guy, he was a fucking KKK member, fuck him, I don't like him." I do not support him. I do not condone it. I denounce
Yeah.
white supremacy. I'm not racist, blah, 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 blah. And he did it like multiple clips over like 20 years going back.
Yeah.
And the guy responds, well, it still doesn't change the way I feel. And I'm
Yeah. It makes no sense.
like, are you shitting me? Like, not to get fucking emotional or fucking whatever about it. It's like then him saying it on the debate wouldn't have changed your mind. You're already brainwashed.
That's how I feel.
Like the media has told you, this guy's racist, this guy's racist, this guy's racist so many times that you can literally see video proof of him being like, no, fuck white supremacy. That shit is stupid as fuck. And then you're like, still don't believe you.
Yeah.
Wake the fuck up. And then they want to say that we're fucking brainwashed for listening to a guy out of his own fucking mouth say it. But you're watching a very specifically edited clip to make it sound like he's a racist. And you can literally show them the original video where it doesn't sound or say anything like what the fucking media is showing them. And they're still like, bullshit. You're watching the unedited full clip.
Yeah.
And you still don't agree. And I'm not saying, like him or not, I'm not fucking saying everything he says is fucking awesome. Like, he got vaccinated. He fucking believes that you should wear masks and social distance. I don't. I'm not getting vaccinated, ever.
We don't agree with, like, everything, you know what I'm saying? But it's just like...
Yeah. It's not like we worship him like he's a fucking idol.
Yeah.
Like he's a god. He's a man who has proven and shown our best, America's people, best interest at heart. Like you said, oh my God. We were energy independent for the first time in a long time. Day one, Biden cut that fucking nutsack off of energy independence. Now we're buying oil from Russia. Hey, what do you know? Now we're buying oil fucking overseas again. Now gas is in the $3.40 again.
Yeah.
It's like when they say like, oh, people, the president doesn't matter. He doesn't make any differences. Yeah, he does. And guess whose fucking fault it is? That one, nothing got better. Everything got worse. Inflation's at an all-time high.
Yeah.
Economy is in the fucking toilet as far as people not willing to work, not able to work. We're on the verge of a fucking World War III, like they like to say, which I really don't think is going to escalate to that. But we're in a shitty situation, and
Yeah.
Everybody, radio fucking silence on all the celebrities. Where's The Rock at showing his fucking raving endorsement for the fucking war that Biden has created?
That's how I
Where
feel.
are you,
Like
Rock?
if this was right now, they would have been bashing Trump. Like, oh my gosh, it's all his fault.
Yeah.
Even though it wouldn't happen with
Lady
him running
Gaga,
for
where
yeah,
you
yeah,
at?
yeah, they would have been bashing. And this what makes me think about a YouTube video that I seen where a dude like made it seem like it was Trump quotes, but it was Biden quotes, and he didn't tell him that. He was like, "Let me show you the
Yeah.
quotes that Biden said." I mean Trump said, and they were all Biden quotes. And then after he revealed it, he was like, "Oh, they made excuses for him. Well, oh, that was a long time ago. He did this, he did that."
Yeah.
It was stupid. It
It
makes
is
no
stupid.
sense.
It's brainwashed. And
Like when
guess
you
what?
talk
I
about
saw that video because they were on a fucking
yeah,
campus, which is
yeah,
brainwashed. Brainwashed
yeah.
Central, actually.
So they was like, oh my bad, I forgot what I was about to say. Well, because you had
It's
said
okay.
the brainwash, kind of like my bad. But yeah, it was
Because you're like,
basically
I
saying,
agree.
because I think one of the quotes was like, he don't want his kids or something to go to school with monkeys or something like that, and they thought
Yeah.
like Trump said it, but he said it, and it was like, how did they always talk about Trump denouncing racism, but they never say that about it.
Right.
When he was
Yeah.
like one of the people with the Jim Crow laws and all that other stuff, he was
Right.
on the he was still in the what Senate or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh, it's one of the House. Yeah. So yeah, that doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't make any
Everything
sense.
that was with gun laws, Biden was one of the people that signed off on it.
Yeah.
Everything with Jim Crow, all that other stuff, Biden was on it. He's been in there for years, 50
40.
years.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it
48
was
years now.
like, why would you wait now to do something about it when you could have been did something about it a long time ago?
Exactly. You had 8 years, Joe.
So that's one thing. I actually literally made a video on YouTube that said black people don't be fooled. And that was probably one of the hardest videos I had to make because I know the hate I was going to get. But I actually
Mm-hmm.
ended up getting more likes on it. But I couldn't sleep until I made that video. And
Yeah.
everything that's going on now is literally, I was like, look, don't be fooled by that. Everybody always talks about, oh, it's the outsider that's going to be the bad one. No, it's the people that comes from the inside.
Yeah.
That's why I made the Star Wars reference. It's like Palpatine. You know what I'm
Was this
saying? It was this,
fucking
yeah,
Senate? He was in the fucking Galactic Senate or some shit, whatever it is.
yeah. So
He's
it's
Darth
like,
Sidious.
exactly. So the most evil one was the one that was already inside. The outsider was the one that was actually trying to help.
Yeah.
So that's how I felt on it. Because you were saying, oh, the president doesn't matter. I feel like for the first time under Trump's president, he literally didn't listen to the out. You know the what they say, the people in the shadows. He didn't
Uh-huh.
listen to none of that. He did what he needed to do, and I think
Yeah.
that people they didn't like that. They wanted somebody to listen to. So it's like the fact that he had his own opinion. He wasn't. How he spoke, people were offended by that. But that's a regular
Yeah.
human being, and
Yeah.
that's why I didn't mind having him because it's like if he doesn't like you, I'd rather somebody be like, "Yo, I don't like you," and not just be fake about it.
Yeah. Like, just going off of that, it's like everybody was upset about what he was saying. It's like you don't say worse when you're cutting up with your friends.
Yeah,
Like, people want to say like, "Oh yeah, well he's a political figure. He should fucking have a certain standard." It's like, dude, you want to compare that to fucking Biden? Like, he's non-existent politically. Dude, I remember fucking Trump rallies where there was like 100,000 people there. And then I remember a Biden rally where there was like 8 chairs and they weren't even all filled up.
yeah.
And you're telling me he got the most votes?
Of all time.
That's another thing. Like,
Of all
yeah,
time.
most votes of all time. Sleepy fucking Joe. Dude, he's falling asleep during the
That makes
fucking
sense.
his own press conference.
That's the thing that
And
kind of bothered
and
me too, because it's like, especially for like I said, the black people. So the black man didn't get the most votes from the black people, but the white man did. That's if y'all
but
want to
yeah,
be. It doesn't make any sense.
yeah. It's so stupid cuz like they wanted to paint Trump as a racist. It's like, dude, like Biden is fucking older than Trump or the same age or some shit. It's like you want to talk about somebody who like that's another oh my god.
Yeah,
Dumbass young, like early 20s, late teens, 18 to 25, dumbass young college students that are like, oh, the system was created by these boomers that don't have a touch with reality and the way things are now. You're telling me, and an overwhelming majority of them voted for like an 80-year-old man
Yeah,
who's
which don't make
so
no sense.
far fucking removed from reality, it's not even funny. You like literally think about that. The people were saying that, like young people, like in college and stuff like that, are saying these boomers don't understand the realities of growing up as a teenager and early and young person in today's age voted for somebody that was born in the 30s
Yeah, makes no
and
sense.
40s or whenever the fuck he was born. Because he's like, what, 80? So he was born
Yeah,
in
he
what?
like he old man. I might
Yeah,
have to
so he
look
was
that
born in
up.
like the late 30s, early 40s, I think.
He's
But it's
79
like,
years old. Dang,
yeah, 79. So yeah, he was born in like what, 41?
dang man, man
Yeah,
old
he's
as
born in
shit.
42. And because dude, my grandmother was born in 1942.
Yeah,
We're talking about World War III. This dude was alive during World War II.
yeah,
Like, I don't get it. Like, I don't see how like a bunch of 18-year-olds can get together and be like, yeah, let's vote for the 80-year-old dude. He understands us. No,
that's what I'm saying.
because again, and then I know that people are gonna write in and be like, "Oh, that's not the reason I voted for him. I voted for him because he's not Trump." Like you said, they fucking
Yeah,
heard all the Biden quotes and was like, "Oh no, that was different. He used to be different. He's changed." It's
yeah,
like, okay, well, the Duck Dynasty guy who was against gay marriage, how about he said that shit on like, what's up with that?
yeah. People's getting canceled.
I know I'm kind
Like,
of jumping around. That's kind of
but
it's
it's
stupid. It's just
related. I
stupid.
know it's like about Ukraine and Russia, but it's just like this all could have been prevented. I feel like they was
Yeah,
mad at him because he was cool with Russia, like with Putin, and this would have never
yeah,
happened. But now it's like it was crazy. Biden even said he has a better relationship with Russia than Trump did, which is a complete lie. And
yeah,
what's so crazy, they was mad at Trump talking about the election, but they was also doing the same thing when Trump got in office. Oh, Russia had the election. They did the same thing to him. So
yeah,
I don't get it, man. I just
yeah. I
feel
remember
like
that.
it's crazy how one way is different. Oh, he's a hero, he's this, and then the other side is a menace. Like remember when they was when Trump banned people from like going to China because the virus just started, and then now when he did
Yeah.
it, oh he's a hero. It was stupid.
He's trying to save America. It's like, oh, and then
I
you know what I hated when people were like, "Make America Great Again," and they're like,
yeah
"When was it ever great for minorities?" Right? It's like if you fucking actually do not not high school and not college related history, but if you actually do some kind of history learning,
yeah
you'll know that there were more in dear like when you go back to slavery times. And again, this is a hot button issue for some people. They don't want to fucking learn anything. If you go back in some states, the person that owned the most slaves was a black person, like in South Carolina at one point, I believe. And again, do your own research. But less than 1% of Southerners owned slaves. And out of all of the 30 million or however many fucking slaves from Africa that were brought over to America, like 27 million or what, I don't even fucking know how many there was. Like less than 4% or 5% were brought to North America. The rest went to South America. Then also during those times in the North where it was free for people, there were a ton of black entrepreneurs, inventors, business people that were well educated and actually it wasn't just, oh, yes, sir, yes, massa. It wasn't all that. Not every fucking black person was like that.
yeah
Okay? You're trying to make it out to be like every single person in the world was a slave in
yeah.
America. No. Like, Jarrell, you could go back and look at your own history and potentially learn that, hey, yeah, nobody in my family was ever a slave.
Yeah.
Literally, that could be a possibility. I can go back
It's
in my
possible.
history and realize that, hey, yeah, nobody in my family ever owned slaves.
Say Ireland, Scotland, Scotland.
Yeah. Yeah, because I think I have like Irish and Scottish in me. But I don't know. What I'm saying is, when it comes back to like the political and the racist, like racial part of it, It's like, man, if you go back and do some kind of history, you'll
Yeah.
understand that, yes, things were fucking hard for everyone. Look
They
at
said
the,
what
like,
every race was enslaved at one point.
not even that. What I'm saying is, if you go back in history, race is just a very shallow discrimination. Like, you don't look like me, whatever. And I
It's
understand that, yes, there was major prejudices and things like that. I'm not discrediting the racism, like the atrocities, things like that. I'm not downplaying that. I understand that it's very serious. What I'm saying is it did not apply to every single person in America. Because guess what? When the laws were being changed, if it was so racist and there was no, obviously it was like almost impossible, or there was probably not a lot of black people in the Senate and things like that, in the Congress making the laws and things like that, because if the laws were put in place to oppress the entire race, then clearly there wouldn't be somebody that's just ascending to these roles. There were, and again, open conversation, open mind. If you want to have a conversation about it, message the show. We'll talk about it. But yes, things were bad because of white oppressors and black slaves. Okay? Yes, it was bad. And I'm not trying to downplay it or make it sound like it was anything else, right? Yes, there's things in history that where every single person on the planet has done something horrible. But that cannot discredit the people that showed up, stood up against it, and said, hey, this is bullshit. We need things to
yeah,
change. Like the people who were, oh my God forbid we say this out loud, there were white people that were in the fight as well, helping on the Underground Railroad, free people, things like that, and
yeah,
also in Senate and Congress and everybody that was like making the laws and changing the laws to include and establish black people
yeah,
as full. And again, this sounds fucked up
yeah.
because of the
Yeah,
way
I
it
know
was back
that.
then,
Yeah,
but like, it's like there were white people that helped establish black people as full human in the eyes of the law. Because it was kind of like, again, people were kind of making it out to be like black people were less than humans. That's why they treated them so horribly.
yeah,
And when it comes down to it, it's like you have like you can't have just the bad. Like, you can't just look at me and be like, oh yeah, you're white, so racism, oppression, you suck. It's like, dude, there were white people in the fucking fight of black people as well. They were out there like risking
marching
their
with
own
King.
lives.
Yeah, marching with King and everything.
Yeah, it's like there were people out there risking their own lives. Like, imagine if like the fucking plantation owners went to fucking uh, butt fuck whatever white person's house that was helping Harriet Tubman. Do you think they would have like? Because basically, again, this is kind of going off of like the terminology of the time. Harriet Tubman and like all the slaves and things like that were looked at as personal property to the plantation owners.
Yeah,
So if you're helping that's like if, again, this is a horrible comparison, but that's like if you went to a farm and stole their cattle.
yeah,
The fucking farm owner has like a right to fucking come over to you and like fuck you up or go into the law and stuff like that. Like, hey man, he stole my fucking property. Like, at the time, that was kind of what the
it's
perception
terrible.
of
Yeah,
was towards slaves and things. Yeah. Again, at the time, I'm not saying black people are cows, but what I'm saying is there was legal ramifications for helping black people escape, and some white people took the fucking risk. And look at where we are now. When you
yeah,
look at ask any, like, not any, but you can walk around today and ask black people like, hey, do you want to live in Africa? Which, again, not all slaves were from Africa. But if you ask
yeah,
them, it's like, do you want to live in Africa? There's like a separation. Like, people were like, no, hell no, what the fuck? Like, when they watch movies like Blood Diamond, they're like, hell no, I don't want to live over there. It's like, well, just imagine if history went differently. You would be living there.
yeah.
You might not even exist because every culture, especially every race of people in America, is mixed now.
But they say we all came from Africa in the first place, anyway.
Right.
But yeah,
There was a video that I saw, and again, I don't care if I get any kind of hate or if somebody wants to slander my name or whatever and get a fucking false narrative about who I am, right? Look at my fucking YouTube, look at my wife's TikTok and tell me how
You're married
racist I
to
am.
to an African woman. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, yeah, tell me how racist I am. But it just comes down to have the conversation.
Yeah.
Cuz and again, it kind of shows where I stand politically, but look at somebody like they want to talk okay, so the left wants to talk about how the right's racist and misogynistic and doesn't want women to be in office or doesn't want women to succeed or whatever. It's like, dude, put Candace Owens on the docket. Put her on the VP ship. Trump Owens, right?
Yeah.
Or Owens and whoever for president. And we'll show you exactly whose side is racist and whose side is misogynistic.
Yeah.
There would be a line of people in a fucking heartbeat behind Candace Owens, a black woman,
Yeah.
because of her political views and because of her opinions, not because of anything else. It's because she wants people to wake up, right? And it just comes down to, guys, don't just believe or base an opinion off of skin tone.
Yeah. And
Just
that's what a
because
lot of
you have
people
a
do.
darker tan than I do.
Yeah.
You have a darker tan than I do. So what? And it's also, and I know I'm kind of going on a rant here, and I do want you to kind of rant as well about how you feel about all this. But when it comes down to it, man, as far as this issue with Ukraine and Russia, like you said, it could have been prevented. Again, you can clearly look at the policies and the things that Biden put in place, not just, oh, whatever. Kamala Harris, who's not really black, fully was, first Indian woman in Senate or whatever the fuck she was saying. And now she's the first black VP. It's like switching up her race and shit like that because it's convenient.
To help.
Just because he has
vote.
her as the running partner.
Yeah.
Yeah, just because he has her as the running partner doesn't make him a fucking. That's like saying he has a black friend and that makes him not racist.
Yeah. Like they gave
Look
him
at
what
the
they said
fucking
that the N word pass. So like it's something
Biden.
stupid. That's what I'm saying. Like they made
said
it
because
seem
of
that I'm saying that's how they making it seem like, oh yeah, he's basically black now because he got her like as vice president. It's stupid.
really.
I hear stuff like that
That's
all the
fucking
time.
racist.
I like look.
That's fucking racist.
Let me say this, man. I have to feel like I said, I love my black people and I support people like this. But we have to stop thinking that
Mm-hmm.
racism is one way. And I feel like that completely. Like I said, I understand that people can be racist. Obviously, I experience racism, but we have to stop acting
Mm-hmm.
like it's a one way thing. You can be racist as well. It's kind of be like, oh yeah, Black Lives Matter. That's cool. I agree, Black Lives do matter, but it means all lives matter. That's not what I'm talking about here. But it's like I feel like if you could be like, oh yeah, I'm black and I'm proud, that's cool to be happy about yourself. But what if a white man be like, I'm white and I'm proud? How would you feel about that? You would think that's racist, right? So I feel
Me?
like no, I'm saying would you if
Oh
somebody
yeah.
was like if you heard a white man say that, you would feel like that's racist.
It depends on what he looks like.
That's what I'm saying. So it's like certain
Like if
things
he's like, I'm white and I'm proud, I'd be like, sir,
exactly.
stand
So it's
down.
like I feel like you can feel good about who you are no matter who you are,
Mm-hmm.
but not everything is racist. That's how I feel about it. That's what I'm trying to say. Just because somebody's white
Man.
don't mean they racist. Just because you know what I'm saying you black don't mean that you can't be racist. You can't be like, oh look at all these white people here. Oh they trying to take over. Like you got to chill out with it. Like it's all good. Like as a millennial, I don't really look at race. I see obviously it's there and like I said you experience things, but it's like I don't care what you look like. My freaking girlfriend is Mexican. This James right here is white. You know what I'm saying? Like, and when McGavin is on here, he's Mexican. His wife is Asian. We don't
And
we don't care.
yeah, yeah.
So I just feel like
It
just have
like
your own opinion, man. For real.
and this is something and Tatiana kind of came around on this because like what you said, like we don't care what you are, right? But that
Yeah.
doesn't mean that we don't care about what you are,
Yeah.
it means that it doesn't matter or it doesn't bother us.
Yeah.
Because there was a video that I saw where it's like, where it was talking about, okay, this guy Nas Daily or whatever. It was on Facebook. It was like a 1 minute video where he was showing the traditional Indian wedding and how the culture is so different and things like that from what he's used to or what he's experienced. And at the end of the video, he's like, this is where it comes down to sharing our cultural differences and things like that, where it's not looked at as different or odd or weird or that you should go against it or taboo to talk about.
Yeah.
But basically, he ends the video with, and we must remember that we're all the same race, human,
Yeah.
right? And Tatiana was like, oh, I don't necessarily really agree with that because there's like obvious cultural differences and things like that. And there are differences. And I'm like, he's not saying that. He's not saying that there aren't differences, that we're all the same. Nobody's saying that. Everybody's different. Everybody has their own unique culture and experiences and things like that. But it just comes down to how many people want to gatekeep.
Yeah.
They want to act like you can't do this because of this reason. You're white. You
Yeah.
can't you can't do this, you can't do that. It's like, man, all the people that, especially when it comes to like hairstyles and like, oh, you can't have braids or dreads because you're white. It's like, dude, again, don't go to high school and college and open a history book. Do your own fucking research, and you'll understand that. Like, people are talking about Rastafarianism and shit like that, where it's just like, dude, dreads have been around way longer than that.
Yeah.
Like,
And I feel like
literally,
people don't like stereotypes, but when people question, like you said, oh, you can't wear that hair, you can't do that, that keeps the stereotype and racism alive. If you just let it
man,
go,
when
just chill out.
mhm.
So yeah.
I was talking to Tatiana, and I'm glad we're getting into this because this is like pretty
Yeah.
serious. Like, it's like a serious, like, yo, this is like a public service announcement. Like, cut the shit.
Yeah.
Like, I was when I was in high school in American history. I had my teacher. She was a black lady, and when the school that I went to was like 80% black. Like 80% of the people that was there was black. Like 10% was Asian. Like 8% was Mexican or Hispanic. Like various like Colombian, Puerto Rican, things like that. And then like 1 to 2% were white people. Like pretty much every class, I was the only white person in class.
Mm.
So whether that got me special treatment or not, most of my teachers were black. So I don't know, there were times where uh, I was sitting in my American history class, and this is what was kind of crazy about it. Every topic in history was like, how did it affect black people? How did it affect women? So throughout all history, that's all they were talking about. So it's like, here's the event. March on Washington. How did it affect black people? How did it affect this? World War II. How did it affect black people? How did it affect women? World War One. How did it affect black people? How did it affect women? That was like always the main topics that we were going over in every subject. We watched the video of when they desegregated the first school in what? I forgot what school it was. Little Rock, Arkansas, was it? The first desegregated school where it was like first integrated school. I
Yeah.
can't remember where it was. But we were watching a video about modern time, like now in 2000, like at the time, like 2010, 11, when they were going to the school and interviewing kids and kind of showing shit like that. And there was this one girl, she was talking about like, oh, well, I don't take school seriously because my mom and my dad dropped out. They never went to college, blah, blah, blah. So it's just kind of like, they're not really helping me or pushing me to do better. And she was basically putting the blame of why she was failing her classes all on her parents. And she was a black lady at the school that went to school there.
Yeah.
And after the video, that was like just one section, and I brought up that specific section for a reason. But the whole video we watch, and everybody in class, again, only white person in class. After the video, the teacher's going around the room asking everybody's opinion, like who wants to talk about it, and everybody, super cliche, fucking stereotypical answers. Okay, like,
Mm.
oh yeah, see, I can see the segregation. Like, obviously, people don't want to integrate. Like, it's the white people, da da da. Right? They have no problem saying that. But my teacher, she goes, all right, good. Now the opinion that if the person's opinion that I want to hear is James's opinion
Yeah.
about the video, because again, only white person in class, so it's like, hey, let's get the white guy's perspective on the video. And so I go, well, there was a section in the video where the girl was talking about how her parents didn't go to college, didn't graduate high school. There's no real push for her to do better. So she just half asses and doesn't care because her parents don't push her. And I go, I'm the youngest of 5 kids.
Mhm.
My oldest sister got pregnant and dropped out of high school. And my second oldest went to college. She's actually doing really she is a teacher now.
Mhm.
And my brother dropped out of college or dropped out of high school. And my mom dropped out of high school, skipped class all the time, never went to fucking class. My dad never went to college. It's like, so my parents don't really even they don't even ask me about my schoolwork when I get home. They don't ask me, oh, what'd you learn in school today? They don't ask me if I got homework. They don't, none of that. When I was looking at colleges, my parents never fucking helped me. I was looking on my own, and I eventually decided not to go to college because of my own opinion about how expensive it is and how what I was getting versus what I was paying for. And this is what I'm telling the class. And I go,
Yeah.
so for her to say that, oh, it's easier for white people or whatever because they have a support system, it's like she has no idea what
Yeah.
people's lives are like. And I go, with all of that, I still come to class and I still do my homework and I still turn in my assignments. I still pay attention and I'm on time. I follow the dress code. It's like my parents
Yeah.
aren't fucking like, who gives a shit
Yeah.
about if my parents dropped out of high school? And she goes, that's a really good point because, and she, again, kind of, she as a black woman, I think she was like in her late 30s, early 40s. And
Yeah.
she was talking about it and she was addressing the class, again, mostly black people. There's like a few Hispanic people, a few um, uh, Asian people as well. But she was addressing the class of primarily black people. And she goes, see, exactly, like this is a good point because it goes into stereotypes. And
Yeah.
it's like James comes to class. He's on time. You don't see him hooting and hollering and just jumping up and down. Like, I stand outside my door in between classes and I see people throwing paper balls, chucking books up and down, wearing their
Yeah.
pants around their ankles and sagging, gold teeth, trying to like very, very just stereotypical,
Yeah.
like bad, like not even the good stereotypes about black people. But this is her words. She's like, very stereotypical black behavior.
Yeah.
Just not giving a fuck, not going to class on time, and thinking it's okay.
Yeah.
She goes, when white America looks at black people and says thuggish, like scared, if these are like opinions that people are having, if this is the
Yeah.
opinion or the perspective that majority of people are having, she goes, what are you doing to prove the stereotypes wrong?
Yeah.
And here's the thing, this is where it comes back to the gatekeeping of black culture and people. It's like, if a white person tries to act like or say that they understand, no, you don't, because you haven't lived in my shoes. But then if a white person says just make different choices, things will be different. You're looked at as, no, that doesn't apply to me.
Yeah.
It's I said this to Tatiana like years ago in like 2013 when we first got together. I go, and then this is kind of an opinion that I still hold true because or think of. If a white person sees another white person become successful, like Donald Trump becomes a billionaire and becomes president and whatever,
Yeah.
white people aren't like, yeah, we made it. But when Obama becomes president, a fucking black dude that's a homeless guy on the street's like, yeah, we're up there now. No, dude, you're still a fucking homeless man on the street.
Yeah.
It's like there's this just unhealthy, I would assume, an unhealthy like camaraderie or connection. It's like, dude, just because we look alike doesn't mean you have my best interest at heart. That's it. It's like just because somebody else is black as well does not mean that they are ride or die here to help you.
Yeah. I said that in my video too. Just because somebody's black don't mean everything they do is gonna be right. I said that as well. I
Like,
mean, obviously you can be like, oh yeah, it's cool, but I see what you mean. Like, not every black person is just like 100% right. You know what I'm saying? Not every white person can be 100% right. It's just the people because they're just people in general. Anybody can make mistakes. Anybody can be wrong. Anybody can be right. Don't just vote for somebody just because they're black. Because somebody that get black, what they said, the Uncle Toms and all the other bull crap, they can still screw you over. So, so yeah,
yeah. What's crazy about what you just said is like when I was in high school and it was Obama versus McCain in 2008. I was too young to vote, things like that. But at the school, they did like a mock election where it's like you go to the computer lab, you cast a vote, and just kind of see where the school landed, right?
yeah,
Um, I'm under the age of 18. The other people in my class are under the age of 18, so the vote doesn't matter for anybody, right?
yeah,
I went in, and this was back when I was just kind of like blindly following what my parents were kind of saying and things like that. So like when I went in, I was like, okay, McCain, fuck it. I don't really know anybody's policies. Fuck it, McCain. Right? That's what I think. That's who my dad said he voted for. So I'm picking McCain. Right? We go
yeah,
back to the class, and this black girl, she was like, James, so who'd you vote for? With kind of like a snarty attitude, and I go,
yeah,
oh yeah, I just picked McCain. She's like, you know, your vote doesn't count, right? And I'm like, neither does yours. Like,
yeah,
I don't care who you voted for. It doesn't matter. Like you said, it doesn't count. I just voted for whoever the fuck. Because it was like a bullshit, not a real election
yeah.
in the high school. Right? And I remember they announced the fucking poll number or the
She was going
numbers.
nuts. Yeah,
Dude, everybody in the cafeteria, whoa, yeah, fuck Obama. It's like cheering, like happy. And it's like, I remember, like, my dad did not vote for Obama in 2008, but I remember after the election and Obama won, my dad, like, this is where it kind of stands politically, where you can kind of see the differences between left and right. Like, Bill Maher is even criticizing the left because they're so far left now. But after Obama won, my dad goes, well, I hope everything that he says he's going to do, he does. And I can tell you this, nobody on the right wants the president to do bad. Like, I don't want Biden to do bad, but he's
hell
fucking
no.
proven that he's
Yeah,
doing a terrible job.
yeah,
Like, I don't want Biden to fucking make policies that are going to put us in the middle of, or make calls that is going to put us in the middle of the Ukraine-Russia situation. But he's kind of
yeah,
showing us that that's what he's doing.
yeah,
It just goes back to don't believe what you hear, believe what they do, or watch what they do.
yeah.
Like,
I literally watched every single debate, and he lost all of them. Somehow he still won the election.
right.
He lost every single debate. Like he didn't even know what the heck he was talking about. Like I believe
Yeah.
if it was up to me, Kamala debated better than Biden did, but I think she still lost when she went against
Yeah.
Mike Pence. So
Yeah. Yeah. And then this is so stupid because everybody was like, oh man, a fly landed on Pence's hair.
yeah,
That means he sucks. He's trying to say he's shit landing on his hair. Ha. I'm voting
yeah,
Kamala. It's like, okay.
yeah,
It's like, okay, whatever. You can use a fly landing on a man's hair as a reason to go to war with Russia
yeah. It
because you
doesn't make
voted for
any
the other
sense.
guy based off of that, right?
That's what I'm saying.
But
It's just crazy, bro. Because what's crazy even about the Kamala situation, when they was actually debating against each other to be for the Democratic Party, she literally called him out on everything I just said about what he talked about people like monkeys and stuff like that. And then she
yeah,
ended up running with him. It makes no
yeah,
sense.
yeah. Like if you know what's funny because somebody was like, "Oh yeah, as far as Kamala Harris's um, approval ratings and things like that are very low," and Jimmy Kimmel, I think it was, he goes, "Oh yeah, we already know that it's because people are racist and misogynistic. That's why they don't want to vote for. That's why the approval ratings for Kamala Harris as vice president is so low." But then when you go back to the primaries where it's only Democrats and liberals that are able to vote for who's going to be president, who's going to be vice president, when they were doing
Yeah.
their debates for the primary elections, Kamala Harris was dead last. So if anybody is shown that, okay, they're not supporting Kamala Harris. So if right now Kamala Harris as vice president has terrible approval ratings, it's because of racism and misogyny. But when it was during the primaries and it was only liberals voting and she had
Yeah.
no approval ratings, that's just because Biden was a better candidate. Not because of racism and misogyny. Shut the
Yeah.
fuck up, Jimmy Kimmel. And
Yeah.
I hope, and I, I think I'm gonna do. I think what I'm gonna do is put a little interstitial at the beginning of this episode, like a little cut in, and it's gonna
Yeah.
be this basically. Like, please, if you are clicking on this video and you're seeing the topic about Ukraine, Russia, we do get into political topics, racial topics, presidential topics, the
Yeah.
debates, how people's opinions are skewed by media, and kind of go into our political views. And if you are uncomfortable with what we're talking about, please, in a respectful manner, message the show. If you feel
Yeah.
like we've misspoken or misstepped or you have an opinion that differs from ours, please respectfully and intellectually voice your opinions, because we're not here to shit on somebody's idea or make somebody feel stupid for the decisions that they made
Yeah.
or try to offend anybody or make somebody do anything that they're not willing to do. You have two options. One, listen to the full show, and I do hope that you listen to the full episode to get full context and message the show if any context is missing or if you're trying to get us to clarify on a specific point that we made during the video. Or two, if it gets to a point where you're feeling offended or you're not liking the content, either message the show and get clarity without attacking us personally, or you do not have to watch. Every now and
Yeah.
then we are going to go into a political topic or a serious topic like this, but we will like to keep it lighthearted and things like that at times. Listen to the show, formulate your opinion after listening to the full episode. I don't want to see an average view duration of 5 minutes and everybody fucking shitting on us about our political views.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to say you didn't watch the whole video, go back and watch the whole video. And don't lie and say you did. And come into it with an open heart, an open mind,
Yeah.
and understand that not all opinions or things that were said are necessarily our own viewpoint. There were stories that were given based off of other people's words and actions and opinions.
Yeah.
We do put in and splice in our own opinions throughout the conversation. Again, either message the show for more context and clarity and have an intellectual conversation, or it's completely fine if you want to skip over episodes like this and just go to the lighthearted ones where we're talking about video games and shit like that.
Yeah.
Okay? Jarrell, do you agree with everything I just said?
Yeah.
Based off of that,
Uh, Based off of what you just said, like I said, we good. Like I said, I don't even have no party. I just have my own opinion, and I believe what we're doing now is just letting people know that it's okay to have your own opinion. That's all
right.
it is. Like just
Yeah.
express yourself, and think for yourself. Pretty much.
Think for yourself. Exactly. And don't just automatically want to character assassinate somebody for their
Yeah.
opinion. Come into it. Whenever I'm having a conversation, like even when I was having that debate and conversation with Monica, it wasn't like things she was saying. I was just like, "Oh, you're dumb for feeling that way." I never at all did that come across my mind. Even now, I don't look at Monica as a stupid person. I don't think she's dumb for her political opinions or her viewpoints and things like that. It's based off of her own life experiences.
Yeah.
My only thing is, I know for a fact that she doesn't look at me that way.
Yeah.
She will ignore my opinion politically before it kind of tarnishes our relationship.
Yeah.
But when it comes to the political view, it will immediately go to character assassination and
Yeah.
trying to destroy or question my intelligence.
Yeah.
I know for a fact because that's exactly what happened during that conversation. And I know for a fact. So it's like, I don't have a problem listening to her opinion and trying to genuinely understand. And this, I'm just using her as an example. But I know for a fact that she does not or will not listen to my opinion and genuinely try to understand. It's she's listening to respond. And for
Yeah.
me, I'm listening to understand and then giving my opinion. And again, there's also another thing that happens where people will try to virtue signal or, oh yeah, every life matters when it comes to COVID, but every life doesn't matter when it comes to race. Only Black lives matter, right? And
And
then that's kind of going back to like the liberal ideology. But when I'm saying every life matters when it comes to COVID, like one death is too many. But I think isn't like the leading cause of death in the black community abortion?
something like that.
It's like top 3 at least. It's like insane.
Yeah, it's a lot of hypocritical stuff.
Like the
Like my
number. I
body,
don't mean
my
it's insane.
choice. My body,
Yeah.
my choice. But we're gonna force you to take this, and then it's a lot of crazy stuff. Man.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It is crazy. And again, anything okay, and also let me throw this out there as well. Anything I said is coming from me, and Jarrell may not 100% agree with everything I said. So don't like if I'm like, oh yeah, if I say something that maybe you would think is offensive or whatever, don't attack Jarrell for saying for feeling
Yeah,
that way. Like my
calling me the
opinion
c
is
word.
my yeah. You're a cracker. But
Yeah,
like
like
I don't know. When it just comes down to it, it's like let's have an open conversation, open debate. I mean,
yeah,
I'm actually a little bit glad that McGavin wasn't on this episode because uh, not he hasn't again for the sake of the U.S. military. He has not said anything. I have no clue what he's doing right now.
yeah,
He's just said he's busy working and he couldn't
yeah,
be here today. But with everything that's going on, he's in the military. So thoughts and prayers and things like that going out to
yeah,
him and his family. Again, no clue what's going on. All I'm saying is hopefully he's safe and whatever happens, it doesn't result in anything crazy involving the U.S. as far as the Ukraine Russia situation. So
yeah. At
that's
the
all I
end
got
of
to
the
say about
day,
that.
we just want everybody to be safe, man. Political wise,
Mm.
whatever. Like he said, it just like we don't want the person to do bad just because they party. We want everybody to be good, but it just like pay attention to what people are saying because if you just look at how somebody looks and not what they're actually trying to do, then you'll get screwed over immediately. Uh, for real. So it's like,
Yeah.
especially when people was like bashing like what was it, Ice Cube and people like I think Ice Cube had a meeting with like Trump or something and he got hate for it. Oh, why would you do that? If it's like if you see somebody, if you think the guy is racist and you have a problem, why not talk to somebody
Mm-hmm.
like in the community that really went through a hard time? You know what I'm saying with the gangs, all the other stuff.
Right.
Why would you get mad at somebody for literally talking to them about the problems that you have concern for? So it's
Right.
like with stuff like that, don't bash other people. Understand that they are formulating their own opinion and just go off that. How you gonna get help if you don't allow somebody to help you? So that's how I feel.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. And it just kind of comes down to when I was talking about it like that gatekeeping. It's like, oh, well,
Yeah,
Trump didn't live like we did. And when I say we, I'm kind of like royal we, referring to the
yeah,
black community. It's like, well, he didn't live like we did, so what can he do? Maybe have a conversation and try to understand how it was for you growing up. And again, the stereotypical like hard life that you're talking about doesn't even apply to every black person.
yeah. I agree.
And I told this to Tatiana a long time ago because we actually had a conversation, and she got so mad at me when we first got together because she was talking about like combing her hair and how hard it is, like because like there's like it's kinky and nappy and has like it's like fucking got a lot of knots in it
Yeah,
when she's like combing her hair and like kind of doing her hair and things like that and how difficult it is. And all I said was, man, I've gotten a knot in my hair like where it's like two hairs are kind of like tied together,
Yeah.
and when you go to comb it, it fucking pulls your damn hair out.
Yeah.
And I go, that fucking hurts really bad. I can't even imagine how painful it can be for you. Talking about her. She's like, you don't understand black hair. You don't understand it. So it's like I've had conversations like that where she was like
Yeah.
literally like putting me on this other thing. And I told her, I go, and again, this is my opinion.
Hey, yeah. I
And
want
I
to say this real
know,
quick. There is a difference between hair for sure. So I agree with her on that part. But I
no,
don't know why
100%.
she.
No, no,
Yeah.
no. Yeah, she freaked out because she was trying to say that I was comparing my hair to her hair, and I wasn't. I was saying, like,
Yeah.
my hair is not even a comparison with how difficult it could be to manage your hair. But I got a knot, and I was like, it fucking hurts. So
Yeah.
I can't even imagine what it would be like for you. And she freaked out on me like I was trying to say, like, it's just as bad. It's like, fuck no, I'm not
Yeah.
saying that.
Yeah. I don't think you were
Um,
like, oh, yo, nappy ass head, man, get your black ass. I don't think you were saying that shit.
I wasn't even saying
Like,
that.
that's
No,
what I'm saying.
no, she was trying to say, she was acting as if I was referring to my hair being as bad.
Yeah.
When it's like, oh, obviously not. And I don't mean bad as like not good. I
Yeah.
mean bad as like it's difficult to manage, which I can honestly tell you that every black person would agree with that.
For sure.
Or I don't know, fucking speak for yourself, I guess. But what I told her, I go, honestly, this is something from my own perspective. Growing up in a 90%, 80% black school, being around black people my entire life, and I'm not saying that I have an understanding, but my band teacher, Mr. Gibbs, cool ass dude, um, he told me, he was talking to me and another white girl that was in the band class, and he goes, honestly, you guys are in a very unique spot because and he was a wise dude. He goes, you and her are in a very unique spot because there are kids that grow up in the complete opposite, where it's 90% white people in the class and there's only like two black people and they don't get to see or have the perspective that you guys have. They
Yeah.
don't get to experience what you're experiencing and really take it in and really kind of try to understand. And that kind of stuck with me when I was in band class and kind of held that to me where I was just like, oh yeah, it's like, okay. But something that I've seen, and it kind of, the reason why I brought up that hair situation is because of this. But when it comes to black people and cultural and gatekeeping, and you can't do this because you're white, and you can't have dreads because you're white, there's a lot of gatekeeping. And if you try to say, I understand or I get it, I can understand your perspective, it's looked at as, no, you can't possibly because you didn't live my experience. And this is what I've said to Tatiana. When it comes to that specific thing, black people don't want to be related to. Because if you are related to, and if somebody can understand your struggle or understand your situation, even if they didn't go through it, then you lose all leverage in the conversation about race. And it takes accountability off yourself.
Yeah.
Because if this person can understand and go through a hard time as well, even as a white person, it's looked at as when it comes to the mindset and becoming successful. I said this to McGavin. We come from similar backgrounds where it's like, okay, simple household. We went to school. We didn't really have any like hard times. Like my
Yeah.
parents always had food on the table. Same for you. Same for McGavin. We kind of all three come from like similar backgrounds. It's not like we were living in like fucking poverty and like a really harsh struggle, right? But if one of us changes our lifestyle and becomes wildly successful, like a millionaire, you're going to be like, oh, what the fuck? Like, you're going to start feeling bad about yourself because, oh, man, you're seeing that we came from the same background. So if
Yeah.
a white person can have a really hard fucking life, really hard struggle, extreme poverty, which there are people that live like that. More white
Yeah. A
people
lot
are
of
on
them.
food stamps than black people. More white people are taking advantage of these social services than black people are. There's more people on them. It's like you got people that could be very similarly coming from a hard background, hard life, hard struggle. So if that person becomes successful, it's very easy to be like, oh, it's because they were white. Or if let's look at the three of us, like we come from similar backgrounds. Like
Yeah.
parents at home, food on the tables, no real struggle like that. Um, and one of us becomes super successful. Like let's say it's me. Oh, it's because he's white. Oh, or because let's say it's you. Oh, it's because you had more schooling, or oh, it's because you were in the military. Or you can always come up with this thing as to why they
Yeah.
succeeded and why you didn't. And it just really is highlighted in a lot of things where it's like black people don't want to be related to because it removes the leverage and it puts the accountability on themselves. And if you try to tell somebody that, like I've had
Yeah.
conversations with people at work where I'm like, you're really in charge of your own destiny. They're like they literally look at me like, and you really believe that? And I'm like, it's
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah. I've said something
yes.
like that before too. Because I think, like you said, the whole food step things and the whole all that other stuff. And
Mm-hmm.
what was it? There was something else, and I was like, look, just because like you was talking about the history with your family and stuff like that, just because that happened to
Mm-hmm.
them don't mean it can happen to you. Like my whole family drinks, that don't mean I freaking drink. It's like certain things like that.
Yeah,
You have to be your own person, your own opinion. If you want to be successful, then do something
yeah.
to be successful. Like don't be like, oh well, since my people never had this, why don't you change it yourself? Like I said, I told you I understand race, and we both agree racism is out there, but you can't use that for
Nobody
every little
agrees
thing in
that
your life.
it's bad.
Yeah, so
Like,
you,
yeah, nobody
yeah,
agrees that it's a good thing
yeah,
or
but
that it
it's
doesn't
like
exist,
you can't use that as excuse for every single thing. There are a lot of successful black people,
dude.
and you have to just go for it. I just, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, just stop
Perfect
doing it for
example.
everything. Okay,
Perfect example. At my job, right? I'm in a leadership role. Okay.
yeah,
I am one of 3 white people in the leadership role. Everybody else is black. Right. My boss is black. My supervisor. Her supervisor is black. His boss is black. The general manager of the entire warehouse is a black guy, and he's 30. I'm 28. And in a team lead meeting, he's going to talk about, as an African American man, I can understand the struggles and like how life is unfair in America. I'm like, you're my boss,
yeah,
making probably 6 figures a year, sitting in the office, and you're like, again, I'm not saying like, oh, his life was fucking so much harder than mine or so much easier
yeah,
than mine or whatever. But I'm saying it's like you got people like LeBron James and Oprah, millionaires and billionaires, telling you that they're oppressed. Telling like you have people in those positions like LeBron James who worked fucking hard, and if the world is so racist and he had white people standing in his way every step of the way to become successful, then that means he overcame that
yeah.
to
It was more
become a
motivation.
yeah. You should be looking at that as like, damn, okay, if there's really these things in place like systematic racism and shit like that, you should be able to look at somebody like LeBron James and Oprah, who got fired as a radio host and was told that she'll never make it in TV or as a TV host and things like that. Fucking billionaire black woman. Um,
Yeah,
it's like, okay, let's just go with the mindset. Okay, yeah, systematic racism exists, prejudice exists. All white people are racist, and people still, and still been a black president. There's still black billionaires and black millionaires.
yeah.
With all of that in place, there's still people that made it. What's stopping you? Do you really think LeBron James is out here like, man, I faced all this struggle, blah, 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 blah. It's like, I'm not saying that he didn't have any struggle. What I'm saying is he overcame it. And
Yeah.
whether you have to work harder or not, it's out there. You got to be hungry enough to get it.
And I've been saying that for the longest. That's why I say our people gotta stop looking for handouts. We had to actually go out there and do it. That's everybody. When you out there and you trying to get it, like we doing the crypto stuff, we want to be like that. There's plenty of people that don't even know about it. We did the research. We do what we got to do
Yeah.
because we trying to have a better life for. I mean, you got kids. You know what I'm saying, for our future, for our family, and somebody you could have easily did the same thing. You could do
Yeah.
your own research. You could do that. I didn't go to college myself, but I can potentially become a millionaire just because I did my own
Right.
research and I want to make myself better. So
Yeah. And then even with this show, it's like Tatiana mentioned this, and this isn't even, again, I know it, like, people look at it like, oh man, when a white person says, oh, I don't see color, that's a red flag, because it's like, okay, whatever. But if you see color as a white person, you're a racist. If you don't see color as a white person, you're racist. Um, but she even mentioned like, yo, the fact that I'm white, you're black, McGavin's Mexican, and we're coming together as a show, and we've been friends for over 10 years. It's like people are gonna look at that and see, okay, there's a diverse opinion here.
But people,
You
yeah,
know,
people gonna like that
it
for
can be
sure.
used. Yeah, people are gonna like it. It's gonna be somebody to relate to. Which I think is kind of funny as well. But when it comes to TV and shit like that, it's like okay. Um, but as far as that goes, there's diverse backgrounds, even though
Yeah.
we kind of come from like a middle class or like lower middle class. Because we're definitely not upper middle class. I definitely wasn't upper middle class. Man, I wore the same fucking shoes for like 2 years, every day to class. It was so terrible. Um, but when I'm looking at it, I'm like, okay, we got to just get past all that bullshit. Honestly, it's so
Yeah.
annoying sometimes.
Yeah, I agree with you. And like I said, everybody got to take accountability for what they do.
Hmm.
If you want to be successful, then be successful. Don't be mad that somebody else is successful. And what I hear a lot of people, like if they see a successful black man as a black man, they'll be like, "Oh, well, he's a sellout." What makes him a sellout? I think there wasn't even an episode about Fresh Prince like that. Just because the dude is successful, don't mean he sold out. That mean he worked his butt off and did what he needed to
Yeah,
do to become successful. And
yeah, like Uncle Phil being the
yeah,
judge. It's
yeah,
like,
that's
dude,
what they
that
were
wasn't
saying.
like. Guess what? Actually, you know what's even crazier?
What's up?
When you think about it, if the systematic racism and everything and all these white people are in the fucking way for a black person to succeed, if a black person does succeed and it's based off of their own merits, that's probably the best person in that field.
Yeah,
Like if it's really kind of one of those things where it's like Thurgood Marshall had to be a fucking rock star of a judge, like top tier best judge, got there on his own accolades during a time when people were
yeah,
standing in the way.
yeah,
It's like the level of acumen and competency is falling off because it doesn't matter. It's like, oh, we just need you here because, which is even more racist, like forced diversity. It's like, oh
yeah,
yeah, you're just in the show because you're gay. It's like, oh, you're in the show just because you're black, because we need a black person in the show. It's like,
yeah,
okay, does it make the show better just because he's black? Is he a better actor than the other person that you could have put on?
yeah,
It's like diversity for diversity's sake. It's kind of annoying. But again, it just comes down. Yes, I do understand that people, it's like, want to watch a show and have somebody that like had a similar backstory or what have you, to
yeah,
something that they grew up with or whatever. So it's like something they can relate to it, right? And I get it. Um, but it's kind of one of those things where it's just like, dude, that's not all that matters. And eventually in the future, when the races and everything like that, people are mingling with other people, we're all going to be one race anyway.
yeah.
Like give it 1,000 years, there ain't going to be white people and black people. So everybody's going to be tan.
The whole, like you said, we
But
all came from Africa, bro. We all here, and that's what I'm saying. Like even my girlfriend's daughter, like they have to. They're 6 years old, by the way, and I was
mhm.
completely against this. They have to go to school dressed as their favorite African American hero, and I'm looking like at 6 year old, they don't even see that. What
Yeah,
hero are they gonna look at? Like I said, what at 6 years old, who's gonna like? Oh, I wonder who my favorite African American hero is. Like a celebrity wise, like they don't know who
yeah,
the frick they are. They just look at people just as people.
right.
What are they gonna say? Raven from That's a Raven or something like that's who she likes.
They're gonna,
What's she gonna dress up
yeah,
as Raven? So it's just
yeah,
like nobody. It's like I understand you want to learn history in school, but the more you do it like that, it just creates more problems, in my opinion. More racism.
yeah, yeah. Because you're highlighting the diversity.
Yeah,
Not even the diversity in a good way. Like you're highlighting the gatekeeping and the segregation, basically.
yeah,
Like I was saying something like this to Tatiana, where I go, it's kind of odd when you look at, oh man, this is the first astronaut, right?
yeah,
The first person to go into space. Okay. And then it's like, for it to include everybody, it's like, oh yeah, this is the first black person to go into space. This is the first black woman to go into space. This is the first black woman that was born in 1987 to go into space. This is the first black woman that was born in 1987 that
Yeah.
lived in Georgia that went to space. It's like you can just add another bracket. Like I could literally, I'd be like, yeah, I'm the first person to, like, let me make something up for myself. I'm the first white man that's straight, born in 1993 on October 1st at this hospital to start a podcast in 2022 called the Panda Cast and record with a black guy and a Mexican guy ever.
Yeah.
I'm going to put that as a fucking banner behind my head and be like, yeah, I'm going to go down in history as the first guy to do this. It's like, dude, you could say that about anybody if you fucking put enough contingencies behind it. You know?
Yeah.
And it's just kind of like, okay, well, how about we celebrate? Yeah, I mean, I get it. Like, yeah, the first woman to do something. The first black woman to do something. Yeah. That's enough.
Yeah.
Doesn't have to be the first black person on a Tuesday to do this in 2021 for the first time this year. It's like, okay. I don't know. That's just kind of like.
Yeah. That hero thing at 6 years old is just too much, man. Like they don't even know what's going on. Like I just feel like that's just crazy. I understand, like you said, learning the Black history, but saying who's your favorite, they don't even know who the heck their favorite is. They don't even know what black, Mexican, or whatever it really is.
Right. The whole time, whenever Tatiana or Marie would ask us a question or say something, she'd be like, "Oh yeah, mommy's brown, I'm tan, and daddy's white." Right?
Yeah.
And she came home from school the other day, and it's like, "Mommy, you're African American, you're black." Like she changed the way she was talking about it, and I'm like, "What the fuck is the school teaching these kids?
Yeah.
Why is that fucking important? It's not."
It's not. Yeah.
And yes, it's important, right?
Yeah.
To highlight history and give the history of things.
Yeah, that's
but it's
what I was
like
saying. Yeah.
they have a Black History Month. They have a Black History Month project as well, where it's like do a project on this group of people here, and you have a bunch of celebrities and shit like that. And I'm like, who gives a fuck about these people? Like they're just celebrities. Like how about like go back in time to people that actually were making real changes in the black community and things like that for human rights.
Yeah.
You know, it wasn't like back when Martin Luther King and all them, that it wasn't called black rights. The Black Rights March on Washington. No, it was civil rights.
Just civil rights.
Like, hey, we're humans. It wasn't based off of, Black Lives Matter. You gotta help black people. It's like
all lives matter.
Yeah,
That's what it was.
it's like, hey, we're humans. Let's be civil. Let's elevate everybody to the same plane, not segregate, not differentiate. It's like you're a person, I'm a person. That's literally it. Listen to Morgan Freeman, who's like, I want you to stop calling me a black man, and I'm going to stop calling you a white man. We're just men. We're people.
Yeah, even Raven said that. I was just talking about her. She said that she got a whole bunch of hate for it. She was like, I'm not an African American. I'm an American. And I know what she meant by it. No, obviously, people. That's what I'm saying. Our people got to start hating on stuff like that. Like, for real. Like, it's okay to just say that. She's not saying, oh, I don't want to be black. She's just saying, look, I know I'm black, but I am American. You don't have to just label me as black. I'm an American person. So that's all it is.
Yeah. Exactly. And when it comes to the Black History Project and things like that, if you do the February homework, you can opt out of it. So you don't have to do the Black History Project if you don't want to.
Yeah, because like you were saying, just imagine like a white kid or Mexican kid goes like to school as like some blackface or something. The school like will freaking go nuts. Like how you gonna go to school dressed up as your favorite acronym hero and then like you looking all this other stuff up? It doesn't make any sense to me.
Right. Sure. And that's what's crazy about it. It's like double standard, nuance. Like there's no nuance, you know. And this is the longest episode that we recorded, but I guess we're just getting all of it out at one time, so we could just go to a lighthearted, fun topic next week. But yeah, I mean, is there anything else you got to say about the Russia-Ukraine and kind of like the political spectrum in America right now?
Well, real quick, based on what we just said, just imagine if it was like, who's your favorite white hero? Right. Who's your favorite white hero in America? That just seems funny to me. But As far as
Yeah,
this, Ukraine Russia stuff, like I said, I don't think it's gonna be as bad as people think it is. Like I said, it's
right.
probably just something so people won't think about the virus. To be honest, because
Hmm.
Biden still got to get elected for something. Even though I still think it's terrible, this doesn't help him at all. But I feel like if we come out of this some kind of way better than what we did, um,
I just thought of
we'll
the
see.
play that they're gonna do. It's blowing up in the media to make it sound like it's way worse than it actually is. So then because it's probably not going to be as bad as it is,
Yeah,
it's going to make Biden look like he did a great job neutralizing the issue, the Russia
yeah,
Ukraine issue. And that's going to be, I guarantee you, that's probably what they're going to run off of, saying that Biden helped prevent World War III. That's
probably.
going to be the fucking headlines to get
Yeah,
him some votes, you know? So let's go down in history saying that right now. You heard it here on PandaCast episode 8 on Monday. What is Monday going to be? Today's the 26th, so the what, 28th? Yeah. So
yeah,
Monday the 28th of February 2022. Um, I bet you see a headline that says Biden prevented World War III or helped prevent World War. Biden's
yeah,
policies or plans, some form of preventing World War III or preventing a major world war, something like that. I can almost bet there's going to be some things like that, or it's going to be
yeah,
some part of the political campaign or headlines around the time he goes to get reelected or
yeah.
primaries or
I
whatever.
agree. Oh, like they're gonna like, oh, he ended the pandemic. He ended the world war. You know what I'm saying? Like all kind of
Yeah,
stuff. I guarantee you it's gonna happen like that.
yeah. Mark my
Um,
words. I can almost guarantee you there's going to be something about preventing like neutralizing the threat of the Russia Ukraine situation, whatever they
yeah,
decide to call it. But that's all we have for episode 8 of the PandaCast. Kind of a long episode, and
yeah,
again, appreciate you for listening to the full thing to get a full spectrum of our opinions and thoughts on the way the U.S. is being run, and also racial tensions between black and white, things like that, coming to you from a white person and a black person who lives literally in multicultural families. Like you said, you have your girlfriend who's Mexican with her daughter, and you have, well, I don't know the whole dynamic
yeah,
of if she calls you dad and shit like that. But
yeah,
then also with me, with my wife who's from Africa, Cameroon, and my 2 daughters, it's like if anybody says anything about racism or anything like that, or shows like a prejudice, me literally as a white man am growing up vicariously through the eyes of my daughter. So any prejudice or hate that she would ever get or receive from both sides would be something that I would personally be feeling as well, because she's an extension of me.
yeah,
Okay. So I would assume it's a little bit different if I'm just a white dude who's dating a black girl, or I only date black girls, blah, blah, stupid shit. I think that's racist for somebody to say as well. Um, they're not racist, but it's just kind of like, really, I need to watch out for that person. But that's basically all we have for PandaCast episode 8. So again, appreciate you for listening to the full episode. Look us up
yeah,
on patreon.com/Panda Media, where you can get the show early ad-free access on Mondays, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and free feeds, audio and video versions on YouTube and your favorite podcast service on Friday, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. That will be with ads in the future. Be sure to like the video, leave a comment, message the show, let us know your political opinions, your views on the whole topics. Have intellectual conversation, and we appreciate everyone's opinion. But naturally, everybody has a bias, so please be sure to maybe put your filter on the side, put your biases on the side, and have a
yeah,
real human-to-human conversation like me and Jarrell did today. And let this be an example that it is okay to have a political opinion. It is okay to
yeah,
have an opinion about the way the world is being ran. Don't feel like you need to shut up because the media and the vocal majority, or the vocal minority, which is a small group of people that make a big amount of noise, are trying to pressure you into feeling a certain way and thinking a certain way. It is completely fine to have your own opinion. But when your opinion is challenged, don't resort to name calling or
yeah.
character assassination. Please try
Or
to,
lashing out.
right, please try to hear what the other person is saying, digest it, understand what they're saying, what they're meaning, why they're saying it, what their experience has been, and why they're feeling a certain way before responding. Try to understand where the person is coming from before you make a just blanket statement back at them that they're a racist because Biden is a sucky president. Until next time, peace out, guys. Enjoy the show, and
Monte, 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 monte.
catch you guys next time.